Now, it's interesting, Samkele, how the ANC has framed this particular briefing, says meeting key stakeholders, but without really explaining who it is exactly that he will be addressing and why, and what informs the choice of the audience that you are with there.
Yes, indeed, we are the president of the ANC, alongside the ANC's provincial chairman and premier, David Makhura, and MEC of Economic Development in Gauteng, Barbara Creasy, and ANC NEC member whom we'll speak to about this particular event. They are here to address role players within the South African economic community and the greater populace of South Africa. I'm just going to ask my colleague Kamukhele just to pan across and show you the demographics of South Africans who are largely converged here at the Atterbury Theatre to engage with the president of the ANC and of the country, President Cyril Ramaphosa, and the Premier of Gauteng, David Makhura, and the MEC of Economic Development, Barbara Creasy, MEC of Finance, rather, the MEC, Barbara Creasy. They will be engaging with the leadership of the ANC, the provincial chairman, and the MEC of Finance in the province, and also ANC NEC member. I'm not going to waste time, Vuyo. I'm going to throw straight to her. Barbara Creasy, can you please just explain to us what is the context of this event that you are having here tonight?
Good evening. This evening we are having what we call a conversation with President Cyril Ramaphosa, and obviously you would see that we have gathered here this evening some key opinion makers from the city of Tshwane, people who would be leaders in their own right in business, in civil society, in the faith-based community. And we are giving them an opportunity to discuss with President Ramaphosa their hopes and their fears. As we all know, in 9 days' time we will be going into one of the most important elections in our country, an election that we all understand will affect our lives for many years to come. And we think it's very important that we give this section of the community an opportunity to share their hopes for the future with the President, and also pose any questions they might have to him.
What might those fears be, Ms. Creasy? Because you've got some sectors and quarters of society who are saying they want to vote for Cyril Ramaphosa, but they don't want to vote for certain individuals who may be inside the ANC, citing allegations of corruption, state capture, the wrongdoings that are happening in the provinces such as the Northwest, the Free State, and implicating individuals such as your Secretary General, Ace Magashule. So what are those fears? Can you just get to the nub of them?
Well, I'm sure that they will express those questions for themselves. But I think we all understand that one of the key issues in this election is the economy, how we are going to stimulate growth, how we're going to deal with the issues of youth unemployment, of course, how we are going to build a capable, competent and clean government going forward into the next 5 years. And I think also important for this community and many other communities in the province is the issue of crime. Service delivery questions, of course, those are questions throughout the province, maybe not so much for this particular community, but I think also the key issue of whether the ANC is returning to its values of nation-building, values of creating a South Africa where all have a future.
Is the ANC returning to its core values when you've got your own Secretary General, Ace Magashule, who's saying the very same government that is led by the ANC, led by his president of the ANC and president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, saying that government has tapped his phone and is using state organs to fight their political opponents? Is the ANC returning to its core values when these allegations have been ongoing for the past 15 years or so? Since Polokwane, in Mangaung, there were those similar allegations. Yet again, after a conference in 2017, you've got your own SG basically saying he's got no confidence in his own organization and saying that organization that is in government is tapping his phone.
I think that when we went to Nasrec and when President Ramaphosa was elected as the president of the ANC, we were all given a very strong mandate to renew the organization and to renew our historic mission within South African society. If you read our manifesto, it is clear that we are honoring that mission of renewing our society, renewing our governance, and working hard to grow our economy. Obviously, in this climate, there will be many naysayers. We are in the run-up to a very important election. And there are many political parties that would want to discredit the ANC and would want to make political mileage at this point. We expect that. We are 9 days away from a crucial election.
I'm just going to ask the last question. I'm strictly out of time now. There's a report that has been doing the rounds, people saying that the ANC is largely dependent on the white vote for this particular election to remain in the grip and in power in Gauteng. Is there any credence to these allegations and to this report, which was also published by one of the leading Sunday newspapers in South Africa, that you are relying on the white vote in order to cling on to power in Gauteng? This is your second engagement with a largely more dominant white community. You've had one in around Hyde Park, Randburg, a few months back, and now you're having another one here in Tshwane. Is there any credence to that report?
Look, I think the ANC has always been committed to building non-racialism in our country and in our society as a whole. We are very happy that in this election there are a number of people from communities across the country, including people who would perhaps classify themselves as white, who are interested in hearing what the president has to say and potentially interested in voting for the ANC. We welcome that interest and we look forward to continuing to build a non-racial country and a non-racial society.
Thank you very much. MEC of Finance and ANC NEC member Barbara Creasy speaking on the main issues of today's evening, with the communities wanting to voice out their opinions and fears and allay them to the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, who's hoping to come back as the president of the Republic of South Africa should the ANC win next week's election on the 8th of May, when South Africans goes to the polls. You can see for yourself the demographics of the country, a vision that was envisioned by Tata Nelson Mandela. The ANC is seemingly trying to portray that image here this evening.
Samkele Maseko live from Pretoria.